What's up guys, macadii here. Now today I'm bringing you guys a brand new OU team builder where what we're doing is building a team based around Jeebus the Mega Pidgeot. Now if you're hyped for this, please do hit the like button down below, I would really appreciate it. Now what we've got is a fairly standard set here with Hurricane, U-turn, Heat Wave and Roost, with 252 in special attack and 252 in speed. I like to start off with a relatively sort of simple standard set because it's always easiest to build around those and then adjust anything that you want to do later on from there. So I've been thinking about partners to go with Jeebus, and I was really tempted to try out a sort of special physical bird spam because I know bird spam is a really good tactic at the minute. So I'm really tempted to pair this guy with Talonflame, which does sound really weird, but hopefully as the team evolves we'll be able to sort of handle the combined weaknesses and stuff like that. So I think Talonflame would be a really interesting member because what that means is we get to hit really hard on the special side with Flying Stab and also on the physical side as well, which is really cool. We're gonna go for a choice banded set. Now, I have tried bird spam before with this and Staraptor, and it never really worked out that well. And I feel having a special one and a physical one is gonna work really well. So, say for example, things like Hippowdon, that's just a dead stop to Talonflame. It means that Jeebus can break through those, and there's no way to wall both of them with one mon. I mean, probably the only exception is probably Heatran. But that's something we can definitely build around and try and break, sort of have other mons to try and break that. So we're going to go for Flare Blitz on there. Flare Blitz, Brave Bird, because you can't have Brave Bird. You can't not have Brave Bird. We need to make sure that's Gale Wings, because that is really unfortunate. I've actually recorded a live before, which I ended up having to delete for you guys, because I realised like at the end that I had the wrong ability and it was really awkward and it lost me a match. Flare Blitz, Brave Bird, U-turn, because U-turn is really nice in this guy, especially choice banded. And the final move, now a lot of people choose things like Tailwind and stuff like that. It's difficult to know what the team's going to come out at, but at the minute I think we're going to it sounds a little bit sort of counterproductive, but Roost can sometimes work really well. So what we're going to do is go for a Jolly one. Now this sounds a little bit weird, but what this means is we out prioritize things like Weaviles, Ice Shards and stuff like that, whereas if we go Adamant you actually miss out on that, and that can actually be quite crucial in certain matchups, which is why you've kind of got to run it Jolly from there. So what we need to now have a think about, we've got a really nice offensive core going on, which is normally not the way I approach this thing, but I think it could work really well. We've just got those extra 4 in there to go. So a Pokemon that we need something to set up rocks and something to also get rid of the rocks as well and sort of provide that sort of support. Now, one Pokemon that could work really well to try and get rid of these rocks is, it's a little bit more offensive, but I think a sort of offensive Starmie could work really well with Life Orb, Analytic, with Hydro Pump. So we're going for, it's almost looking towards very hyper offensive, but I want to have a go at trying to build it so from a bottom up approach, if that makes sense, compared to how I normally do. I apologise if you heard that. I think some housemates are coming back. So we're going to go for Hydro Pump, Ice Beam. We need Psyshock on here because Keldeo is definitely a thing. Not that it's going to be a massive problem with Talonflame and also Pidgeot around, but it's always a possibility really. Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Psyshock and Rapid Spin. I may end up going for, I was thinking maybe something along the lines of getting a Lati Twin in here later on, so we don't have to just rely on this guy from spinning, because it's always difficult just to rely on an offensive spinner, especially when you've got bird spam, but it is nice to have that sort of backup rapid spin sitting in there. So that's looking really good. We've got max speed on there. This guy forces so many switches as well and can really punish walls, so this offensive core should be pretty interesting actually. Starmie's also a fairly reliable switch in for Heatran. We've got Hydro Pump on there. And yeah, it should just hit really hard. So what we need now is to have a think about a defensive core that could work really well with these guys. So at the minute, what I'm seeing is a weakness to sort of definitely Talonflames, Megazard X and stuff like that can also be a problem. So I think, well, personally, I'm a big fan of Hippowdon. And I think Hippowdon is the way to go here. We're going to go max HP. Now it's 156. If I've got this wrong, I will clean it up later on. But it's going to be the standard Impish mixed Hippowdon, because I think that works really well. Let's have a look. because I'm not going to sell you guys short and leave it at that. Let's just get the, I think it might be 144 defense. That's it. So we're going to go for 144 and pop the rest in Spadef. So that gives us a really nice bulky all-round wall. We're going to go for leftovers here with Sandstream, because that means we get another way to wear down their walls and stuff like that. This gives us a Stealth Rocker as well, which is really, really nice. We're going to go for Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Slack Off, because you do need Slack Off on this guy. Now, I'm a big fan of Stone Edge on him as well, because this means we can actually have ways to handle Talonflame, because otherwise we can kind of wall them, but if they're SD Talonflame, we are in a spot of bother right there. So that should be fine for that setup. Now, we need a guy that's going to pair well with him. So we've got an Ice Resist there, which pairs really well with Hippowdon, but we still got a Grass weakness going on, especially with Starmie, which I guess the other two guys do mitigate as well. One Pokemon that could work quite well, it's a little bit passive, so I'm not too sure how I feel about this, is possibly pairing this up with a Spadef Skarmory, because that pairs really, really nicely with Hippowdon, because we can go leftovers with Sturdy. Well, we're going to have Brave Bird. We may change this up. Actually, we may change that to Iron Head, because it means we've got a way to hit fairies hard. It means we don't take any recoil as well. And we've already got enough bird spam coverage on here. I think having a third mon with bird spam is probably a little bit ridiculous. It does compound our electricity weakness, but that's something we can sort out later on with our final pick, I think. A Lati Twin is looking rather nice on this team, so I'm quite tempted to go on and do that. So we're going to go for Iron Head, Whirlwind, because we don't want any guys setting up on us, Roost, and we could even add a bit of hazard stacking here, which would be really, really nice, because if we added that on there, yeah, actually, yeah, I think what we're going to do, we're going to go for spikes on here, because this means we've got two ways to set up hazards. We've got a rapid spinner, so we can rapid spin them away. And I'm also thinking, not to jump too far ahead, but Latias could work really fantastically with this guy. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to pinch a tiny, tiny bit off there, just a speed creep, because 70 is normally sort of a fair sort of speed tier for people to sort of, I'm forgetting how to speak, speed creep round. And we're going to go for I think it begins with C, a Careful Nature there. So what that means is that we've got really nice all-round bulk, similar to the Hippowdon, and we can handle a lot of things that threaten, like that Skarmory is threatened by, Hippowdon can take, and I think the final Pokemon we're going to go for is a Latias, because Latias gives us a really nice defensive core going on there. We're going to go for a sort of the more supportive one, which I originally thought of for going for the Mega Pincer team builder, where you got 184 in there. 72, we do, as I said, we have got slight problems with like Scald switch-ins and stuff like that, but hopefully Latias on here should be able to give us enough support. So we can have Draco Meteor, Psyshock, Rest, and, not Rest, what am I doing, Roost, and Defog. Okay, so threats that we've got to this team that we need to think about. So Weavile, I mean, Skarmory handles that, and also Talonflame. So I don't think it's going to be the biggest of problems, as far as I can see. Like, dark types I'm seeing can be quite problematic with this team. But having U-turn on here and here means that things like Tyranitar and stuff like that, we should be able to U-turn and get away from them, not having to worry about pursuit and stuff like that. But that can be a problem with, say, the Starmie, and also the Latias as well. But overall, I'm quite happy with the team. We've got a really sort of solid defensive core there, and a nice offensive bird spammy core there, and Latias is also able to give us some decent offensive pressure as well. So hopefully this team should work out quite well. So I hope you guys did enjoy the team building video and sort of get an idea of my thought processes behind this team and things like that. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button down below and let me know as well any changes that you want me to make to the team, any nickname suggestions as well, and I'll try and incorporate that in the live that will be coming later on this week. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys at the next one. Macadii out.